Hey YouTube, we have Leonard here. Bring guys and gals, Kanojo Okudishimasu, Rent a Girlfriend. We're here, we're on chapter 245. With that, we're going to hop into this. Just finished the chapter, and of course, I'm going to follow me on Twitch. Link in the search box down below. You can find my live reaction to chapter 245 there. And I think this is actually a very solid chapter, and there's a lot to talk about. I didn't realize that just starting from the very beginning with the Kuri stuff, that Kuri didn't put together that Ichinose and Mizuhara were the same person. I just took it for granted that once they met her, and then everything was coming out about the I don't know why I thought that. But nonetheless, I'm just like, oh wait, that's true. He doesn't realize that they're the same person, and now he does. So this causes another layer of complexity because, again, Chizuru and Kazuya have lied to the public that they're dating, but they're not actually dating. And now more and more people are finding out, including from the friend groups. So now Mizuhara and Ichinose are basically the same person, as they should be, by the way. They should be the same person. And I think it's going to cause some complications. I wonder how it plays for Chizuru and her friends. I'm very curious about that. So I didn't expect the whole Kuri stuff. But now this is where things get really interesting. Kibe. I've said this time and time again, everybody, and not to call people out, but I go on forums, I see a lot of stuff, and for whatever reason, the Reddit, there's a lot of people who do not like Kibe, and honestly, I don't know if I fully get it. I really don't. I really don't. I'm not saying it's a perfect character, Kibe did some dumb stuff, but throughout the whole course of the series, I've always seen Kibe as the person who, honestly, was very reasonable. He was someone who, as Kazuya's best friend, always supported Kazuya, did what he could in order to make sure that Kazuya was fine, and unconditionally believed Kazuya, even though evidence clearly suggested that Kazuya was being very sus about the Chizuru stuff. He's also the reason why Chizuru even possibly started developing feelings for Kazuya, because he's the one who talked him up to Chizuru and got Chizuru to go on the boat ride with him all the way back. So I think that when people see Kibe as a character, and I think about the fact that, oh, Kibe like knocked out Kazuya and he wasn't a true friend. Was it good that he punched Kazuya? No. I remember when that chapter came out, I applauded Kibe. If you take a step back, and I understand that Kazuya is our main character, and to some degree we understand why Kazuya is doing the stuff that he does, and he does have bad intentions. But if we weren't seeing the story from Kazuya's perspective, we would think that what Kazuya is doing, especially in that moment, was trash, was bad. Kazuya, and it's worse because we actually have hindsight and insight. Kazuya's still lying. So everything that the Kibe said during the Wines arc from when he punched him and said that he has to stop running and being a coward and he's not the type to lie and all this other stuff, Kibe was 100% right with Kazuya. Now whether he should have punched him, to each their own. Maybe he shouldn't have. I didn't have an issue with it at the time because Kazuya, from his perspective, was acting the fool, and Kibe did what he felt he had to do because he was frustrated. Because people are being hurt. Kazuya's family is being hurt. Nagomi is being hurt. Mommy, all these people are being hurt by Kazuya's lie. Now, from Kibe's standpoint, where I really do appreciate in this chapter, is that he's able to take a step back and be... I lose my... Oh, can you guys hear me? There we go. My bad. Kibe was, at the end of the day, able to take a step back, and he was just kind of like, at the end of the day, what's done is done. This was 4 months ago. And we also get some insight, and I still hear how AG did this, but we do get some insight, the fact that for the 4 months, Kazuya and Kibe have been talking. And things have been pretty much normal, but an awkward air in between them. They haven't talked about the things that went down during the Hawaiians trip. Very convenient, by the way, that they don't do this. But I really feel as if Kibe here showed himself to be a very mature individual, which I've always believed him to be, because he's the voice of reason. He always has been. And he's essentially saying that at the end of the day, he feels like a joke. And that's why he felt hurt. Because he's someone who unconditionally believed in Kazuya. And then at the end of the day, realized that he was being lied to. Wait, what's happening in my chat? I missed something. Oh, I think he's referring to when you said mommy straight garbage. I think that's what it is. I think that's what Genny's referring to. Anyway, back to the review. Kibe, for him to recognize the fact that he's just like, I felt upset. I was hurt. I was always in your corner and I always believed in you. And at the end of the day, I was just being lied to. But he also recognizes that there are priorities in life. And he's like, at the end of the day, if you felt that in order to protect the thing that you have with Chizuru, you had to lie to me, at the end of the day, I understand it, and it sucks because I was on the receiving end of that, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person. If anything, you did what you had to do. And I really, really appreciate that perspective. It hurts because of the fact that Kibe, you're still being lied to at this very moment. It is what it is. But it's a very mature take, I personally feel. And I say the same thing when it comes to people who are like dating or when you're married, etc. There's a level of priorities. And in many cases, you have to know what your number one priority is. Now, it doesn't mean I condone lying or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But Kibe is taking the perspective that as much as I matter as your best friend, I wish that I was the most important thing. You have a priority, and that priority is Chizuru. And you deemed that what you did was the best way to ensure that the two of you would be happy for whatever reason. We may not necessarily like that. I feel like I wouldn't be happy in that situation if I were Kibe. But to be able to take a step back and recognize that whole situation and be mature about it, I'm honestly kind of impressed. I shouldn't have expected anything less from Kibe. But Kibe has reignited my passion as to why I've always said that he is one of my favorite characters in the series. He's always proved to be someone that I can kind of identify with in terms of general logic. He's a bit stupid in other cases, but like the way he thinks about things and him being the voice of reason to Kazuya, you can't deny that. And he spoke nothing but facts throughout this chapter, so I appreciated that. Even here when he says, if you think that's something more precious than a childhood friend, then so be it. Seeing it like that, I can make peace with it. That's such a mature take to take. So anyway, I can go on for a long time about Kibe, how much I like Kibe's character, and I find him very interesting. And actually the way they handled Kibe and the whole him and Kazuya not talking is very convenient, but it's actually not as bad. It's better than it still kind of remains core to his character versus what we saw last chapter, Nagomi and Ruka, where them not doing anything is completely contrary to their characters. But I digress. Going on throughout the rest of this chapter, we see Mami. Mami appears, and we know Mami's scheming something, but she has that flashback again to what Chizuru said about realizing her own feelings. It really makes me wonder, what is Mami going to do? Does she try to expose them again? Does she confess to Kazuya? Are there actual feelings there? I don't believe there are. I really do not. But it just makes you wonder what she plotted. And then, last but... Sorry, I'm looking at my chat again. I'm so confused. The last part of this chapter I do want to talk about in a little more detail is this whole thing with Chizuru and Kazuya and now going to visit Nagomi. So now, when we see here the fact that she says, Nagomi's... Let me say Nagomi. Sayuri, my bad. Her grandmother. And they're going to be going over to her grandmother's house, essentially. I wonder if this is going to be a case where, again, since she has died, if Chizuru has to go and collect things from the house, is the house going to go away? Is she looking for things that she owns, that her grandmother owned? I'm curious about how that's going to go, but it's super significant that she chose to bring Kazuya, or is going to bring Kazuya with her. That's a very intimate and personal thing, and honestly, I think for Chizuru, as we know, again, she has no living family, which is rough. And Sayuri was the last living family that she had. So going over to, let's say, the house and seeing all these things, collections, etc., against the title of the next chapter, is bound to stir some emotions inside of Chizuru, emotions that she hasn't necessarily maybe even faced. And she's comfortable enough bringing Kazuya there because of Kazuya's relationship with Sayuri, and likewise, the relationship that Chizuru is trying to have potentially with Kazuya. So I think that from Kazuya's standpoint, that's actually one of the best things that could have happened to him, that she's inviting you on this type of a trip to go to Sayuri's house, to go with her. And I assume, again, is with regards to possessions and stuff like that, because Sayuri is dead. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But without further ado, everyone, this is actually a really good chapter. As you can see, there was a lot more to talk about than in recent chapters. I really, really, really like the Kibe stuff, but it just begs the question, and Kazuya says this as well, that he's still lying technically to Kibe and to everybody. And I just can't believe that lie that's still hanging out there, that Deiji would just put that out there and not do anything with it. I sadly think that things are going to blow up. They have to. Things are going to blow up and that lie is going to get exposed, and it definitely makes me worry. So we'll see what happens. Kibe actually might kill Kazuya. But with everyone, we're going to end this here. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, like my content is greatly appreciated as always. And with that, I'm Leonard, and I'm out. Take care, everybody, and let's have a good one.